All right, good morning and welcome to the October 19th Chenango County IDA Board of Directors meeting. Sorry for the delay, technical issues. Our Director of IT got those worked out. We'll go ahead and roll call ourselves in.
Blanchard here.
Right here. Zeno here.
Burton here. We're going to skip the reading of the mission statement at this point, and we have some guests on Zoom from Bond, Shank, and King. More specifically, and probably who will do most of the talking, Kelly Sullivan, who is Senior Project Manager, is here to present to us today and talk to us about the seeker. Kelly, are you there? Yep, there you are. Okay. Go ahead. The floor is yours, Kelly.
Project located in Chenango, which does not have zoning, and we've gone back and forth with the county planning department, the town, and finally decided on CCIDA to do the environmental.
Are you on speakers?
So you guys have already done part one of the form, and hopefully you have reviewed it. It has gone out to the interested agencies or involved agencies, and it has been past that 30-day review. So part 2 and part 3 now falls on the board to review and to hopefully approve and do a negative declaration. I know that Kathleen has already presented the project to you. Do we need to go through any of that again, or do you want to?
Actually, can you hold on a moment, Kelly? The sound's not great here. Give us just a second, okay?
Jenna wants to get speakers.
Where's option? Oh, we've got some external speakers coming. Thank you. Appreciate your patience.
Try that, Kelly.
Is that better?
Nope.
No, go ahead. Can you hear us now?
I can hear you.
Much better. Thank you.
Okay.
I'm just gonna turn it all the way up.
Okay, I'm sorry, Kelly, what was the last thing you said to us?
So what I had said is that Kathleen Connolly had come in person, I believe a couple of months ago, and presented the project itself. Nothing has changed in that. Now it's just for the board to go through parts 2 and 3 of the seeker form to make sure that that we've checked everything off accordingly, that all concerns and environmental concerns are reported properly on that form.
Okay, we did notice when reviewing the form that there were some boxes that weren't checked, where we answered where impact on something was checked yes, and most of the boxes were checked, but not all of them. So we just need to go back through and check the rest of the boxes at this point on that.
So is it on part 2?
Yeah, on part 2.
Okay, so I'll open that up just so we can follow along. Okay, so what the board should probably do is you should read the question, all agree on the yes or no, and then you can move on to the next question if it's a no. If it's a yes, you kind of go through quickly the underlying extra smaller questions underneath it, just like if it's a no or small impact might occur.
Yep.
And then we can discuss any of them too as well. This is kind of where you guys go through and you agree on those impacts.
Okay. Should we send this, once we do that, should we send this back to you guys for review before we?
No, actually, so you would make a motion on it today. You would all agree to do like a negative declaration for this. And then once you agree on that, then part 3 is what you would sign. And then that part of it can either come back to me to send out to all the involved agencies that you've done a negative declaration, or you can send it out. But usually we do help out communities to send them out for them.
Okay, thanks.
And then we report it to the DEC as well on their environmental notification board.
Okay. Yeah, we just got a couple of boxes we missed, that's all. One was on another page, and so it shouldn't take us long to fix this. Get the motion and, get it sent off to you.
Okay.
Does anybody have any questions for Kelly while we have her? Okay, so it looks like we'll finish up this step and move on to the next.
Okay, well, I think you need to do it, like, actively do it together.
Yeah,
And
we're
then
gonna,
you-
we'll,
Okay, okay.
oh, with you?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, because then that way, it just, if there's any questions, usually they'll come up during this.
Okay.
And I can answer those questions.
Okay, I didn't know if you wanted to stick around that long, that's all. All right,
I'm here.
so, and for question 1, impact on land. Proposed action may involve construction or physical alteration of land surface or the proposed site. The box yes was checked, and then as you can see, everything was checked to no or small impact may occur. Proposed action may involve construction on land where depth to water table is less than 3 feet. That was checked small or no. The proposed action may involve construction of slopes of 15% or greater, no or small. Proposed action may involve construction of land where bedrock is exposed or generally within 5 feet of existing ground surface, no or small. The proposed action may involve the excavation and removal of more than 1,000 tons of natural material, no or small. The proposed action may involve construction that continues for more than 1 year or in multiple phases, no or small. The proposed action may result in increased erosion, whether from physical disturbance or vegetation removal, including treatment by herbicides, no or small. And the proposed action is or may be located within a coastal erosion hazard area, no or small. Does anybody have any questions on any of those categories or feel that the box moderate to large should be? Okay, hearing none, we're going to move on. Section 2, impact on geological features. The proposed action may result in the modification or destruction of or inhibit access to any unique or unusual landforms on a site. Example, cliffs, dunes, minerals, fossils, caves. We don't have a lot of those here in Chenango County. So the box no was checked. Everybody okay with that? Impacts on water surface. The proposed action may affect one or more wetlands or other surface water bodies, streams, rivers, ponds, or lakes. The box no was checked for that as well. Anybody have any issues with that? Okay. 4, impact on groundwater. The proposed action may result in new or additional use of groundwater and may have the potential to introduce contaminants to groundwater or an aquifer. Box no was checked. Anybody have any issues with that? Nope. Moving on. Impact on flooding. The proposed action may result in development on land subject to flooding. That should be a cut and dry. It's a no. Impact on air. The proposed action may include a state-regulated air emission source. That's kind of why they're doing solar, is to cut down on those. So box was no. Anybody? Anything on that? Nope. Okay. Impacts on plants and animals. The proposed action may result in the loss of floral or fauna. The box was checked no there. Nothing? Okay, moving on. Impact on agricultural resources. The proposed action may impact agricultural resources. The box is checked yes. So box A is the proposed action may impact soil classified within soil group 1 through 4 of the New York State Land Cert Classification System. Again, no or small impact. The proposed action may sever, cross, or otherwise limit access to agricultural land, including cropland, hayfields, pasture, vineyards, orchard, etc., small or no impact. The proposed action may result in the excavation of compaction of the soil profile of active agricultural land, no or small impact may occur. The proposed action may irreversibly convert agricultural land to non-agricultural uses, either more than 2.5 acres if located in an ag district, or more than 10 acres if not within an agricultural district. No or small impact may occur there. So I do have a little bit of a question on that, and it would go back to our previous experience with solar projects. During the decommission process, they would put it back to usable agricultural land, correct? Yes?
Yes,
She's
that's
shaking her head. Okay, good. The proposed action may disrupt or prevent installation of an agricultural land management system. So that box was not checked at all.
Yeah, that was our fault. That should be checked, no or small impact.
Okay,
So I can change that on our form.
okay.
Joe, sorry to interrupt, but is there a decommissioning plan in place with the town or
No.
county?
Do you want to talk on that? We submit a decommissioning plan, but since there's no code or anything like that, I'm not sure how it's held up, I guess. He's from Delaware River Solar.
Can you hear me? I think I was muted.
Yep.
That's an issue.
Yeah, so when we submit anything to the town to indicate that what we're going to be doing, as well as, we'll probably be asked when we request a building permit from the county, we do provide a decommissioning plan that lays out the process and the steps that, take place during commissioning, when decommissioning occurs, for instance, if the project, fails to continue operating, is damaged and it's not repaired. So we do provide a decommissioning plan to the parties involved, so that they can see the procedures and steps that will take place and when they can, activate a decommissioning process.
Okay. Good, thank you. The proposed action may result directly or indirectly in an increased development potential of pressure on farmland, no or small, and the proposed project is not consistent with the adopted municipal farmland protection plan, no or small. Anything else on that? No? Impact on aesthetic resources, the box is checked no. Impact on historic and archaeological resources. The proposed action may occur in or adjacent to historic or archaeological resources. Box is checked yes. The proposed action may occur wholly or partially within or substantially contiguous to any buildings, archaeological site, or district which is listed on the National State Register or historical places, or that has been determined by the Commissioner of New York State Office of Parks, Recreation, and Historic Preservation to be eligible for listing on the State Register of Historic Places, no or small impact. The proposed action may occur wholly or partially within or substantially contiguous to an area designated as sensitive for archaeological sites on the New York State Historic Preservation Office Archaeological Site Inventory, and no or small. The proposed action may occur wholly or partially within or substantially contiguous to an architectural site not included on the New York State Preservation Office inventory, no or small. What drives, is there a
Why did
listing?
you check yes on it?
Yeah,
Okay, so we had received a SHPO consultation letter in April of 2022 that the farmstead at 507 County Road 14 was eligible for listing for National Register, and that was technically within the zone of visual impact. So we had to do a further, they had to do further consultation on that, and they have then sent us a no adverse effect letter on August 26th, I believe. Yeah, is what it has on there. So we just had they had to go into like their next step to make sure that those houses that are visually impacted, are not impacted. So
Okay, all right,
that's why we checked yes. Yep.
great. Any other questions on that from the board? No? Okay, other box so on top of page 7, I think we only had to answer box E if we checked moderate to large there, is that correct? Yep, okay.
Yes, that's correct.
Good. Impact on open space and recreation. Box no is checked there. The proposed action may result in loss of recreation opportunities or reduction of an open space resources designed and adopted municipal open space plan. Impact on critical environment areas. Proposed action may be located within or adjacent to a critical environment area. Again, no is checked. 8, impact on transportation. The proposed action may result in change to existing transportation systems. No. Impact on energy. The proposed action may cause an increase in the use of any form of energy, and that's no. The impact or noise, odor, and light. The proposed action may result in increased noise, odors, or outdoor lighting. Box is checked yes. The proposed action may produce sound above noise levels established by local regulation. No or small impact may occur. The proposed action may result in blasting within 1,500 feet of any resident, hospital, school, licensed daycare center, or nursing home. No or small impact, and the proposed action may result in routine odors for more than 1 hour per day. No or small impact. And moving on to page 9, the proposed action may result in light shining onto adjoining properties, no or small. And the proposed action may result in lighting, creating sky glow brighter than existing area conditions, no or small. And I would assume that's based during the construction phase, that all that would happen?
Correct.
10, impact on human health. The proposed action may have an impact on human health from exposure to new or existing sources of contaminants. The box no is checked. Consistency with community plans. Proposed action is not consistent with adopted land use plans. Box no is checked. And consistency with community character. The proposed project is inconsistent with the existing community character. The box no is checked. And that is it. So we really just
So
had to.
then what would happen is you would make a motion to declare a negative declaration for this project, and then I would just need your signature on part 3.
Okay.
Brian, with one observation is that it needs to be edited to new information for further information on the next page. It needs to be updated. It has the outdated information.
Okay, on part 3, it has contact information for Carrie Green.
Right,
And
correct.
you were taking care of that, right, Kelly?
Okay.
I couldn't hear that. What was that?
You were taking care of on the last page of section 3, the contact information.
Yes, I had sent an updated one with Brian's information on there.
Okay, yeah.
To Barb yesterday, and so if he could sign that version and you guys send it back to me, I can send out the letters to everybody.
Great. Okay, I need a motion for negative declaration.
So move.
Need a second?
Second.
Any discussion? Hearing none, we'll vote.
Blanchard, aye.
Ryan, aye.
Zero, right?
Bert and I. Okay, Kelly, I'll get that signed and we'll get it sent back over to you.
Okay, great. Thank you very much, everyone. Sorry this dragged on a couple meetings.
No, that's okay. We appreciate your assistance in it. It's new to a lot of us, so we're happy you were able to help us through it.
Good luck on the next one.
What, you cutting ties, are you?
No, I'm gonna jump off on this one, right? You guys don't need me anymore?
No, we're good.
Okay, all right. Have a good day, everyone.
Yes, thank you, everybody.
Thanks. We'll jump off in Von Chenango as well, unless you feel like you need us or want to ask any additional questions.
I think we're all set as well.
Great. Have a great day.
Okay,
See
you
everybody.
two guys, thanks.
Bye-bye.
Okay. Great. So thank you, for going through that with them.
Thank you, Jenna.
Yes, thank you, Jenna.
You're awesome.
So before we move on in the agenda, I'd like to introduce, Mr. Sal Testani, who is the newly hired, CEO and president of Commerce Chenango. His official start date is actually November 1st, if I'm not mistaken. He'll take over from that point on, but right now what he's doing is he's voluntarily coming to meetings and attending events, including tonight's meet and greet here at Commerce Chenango, so that he can get himself acclimated with all of us and as much of the community as possible. Sally, you want to say anything to the board?
Yeah, first, sure, thank you. I'm really excited to try to fill this role. It's something that I really believe in. I'm from this area. I grew up in this area. I raised my kids in this area. My children are moving back to this area. I believe strongly in Chenango County. I know that our businesses are the lifeblood that makes everything else possible in here. And I hope just to have a little bit of an impact on some of the things that people are doing. I'll meet with all of you individually, and hopefully you can tell me where you think I should try to lean in quickly and where I should be more patient, but I hope to add just value where I can. I really appreciate the opportunity to work with all you guys. I'm looking forward to it.
Thanks, Sal.
You bet.
Anybody got any questions for Sal? He loves to answer questions. Okay, great. Well, welcome aboard, Sal. We look forward to having you. All right, everybody get a chance to view the minutes. If you did, I would entertain a motion for the approval of the minutes from the September 27th meeting.
So moved.
Okay, need a second?
Second.
Okay. We have a second. Any discussion, omissions, or corrections? Hearing none, we'll vote.
Blanchard, aye.
Ryan, I.
Zeno, aye.
Bert and I. Great. And since Kathy Joe so graciously agreed to now present financials again on a monthly basis, I'm going to turn the floor over to Ms. Kathy Joe so she can present our September financials.
Okay. So the only thing updated on the financials is accounts receivable is 0. So we received all the payments. And then there is a negative net activity, but that's due to the purchase of 5 Walnut Ave. But the revenue from prior years is what covered that.
Kathy, Joe, maybe we could set some time up before I start to kind of go through this line item by line item.
Yeah.
You know, we're going to be in the office.
So other than that, everything looks good on the financials.
Okay. We'll move on to statement of activities. Is there anything to note there?
The insurance expense is up, but that's due to the on-the-road processing property and 5 Walnut Ave.
So speaking of that, I caught Dave Grady in the cafeteria at the bank the other day, and I said, I've been signing an awful lot of paperwork for insurance as of recent. Honestly, don't know what it all is, but I'm entrusting that you guys know what you're doing and are guiding us in the right direction. I am meeting with Dan Monday at about, I think, 9 o'clock in the morning. No, 3 o'clock in the afternoon to go over all the insurances that we're paying for right now. I do know that they're elevated because we have a vacant building and we have an extra property on the insurance. So we got insurance on all that stuff that we normally wouldn't carry. And I did speak to him briefly that we are going to be liquidating the Clark Park property, the vacant property, and the airport building. So we'll talk about taking those off, and we should receive a refund on our premiums based upon the removal as we remove those properties. But I'm meeting with him Monday to kind of go over all that. And based upon what I get back from him, I may ask him to come to a meeting so that everybody understands all the insurances we're paying. Of course, director's insurance is included in there and things of that nature. So just as an FYI.
Okay.
Okay. Anything else of note on there?
No.
No? Okay. Any questions on the financials for Kathy Jo while we got her here? Okay. Hearing none, I'll entertain a motion to approve the financials. Blanchard approved. Need a second?
Second.
Zeno, second. Any discussion or corrections? Hearing none, we'll vote.
Blanchard, aye.
Ryan, I.
Zeno, I.
Great. Bills and invoices. So I just want to speak to item number 2 on this, which is the Bainbridge-Guilford Central School taxes. We did end up paying a $42.69 late fee. Barb tried to get it waived. So last month when we approved bills and invoices, there was some confusion about signing checks, and a number of checks did not get signed. So although we sent stuff in on time, some of that stuff came back for signatures. I then stopped in and signed them and sent them out. I'll make sure that doesn't happen again. I apologize. It's as much my fault as anybody's. You could take the $42.69 out of my wage here, I guess, which is zero. So that's what that's all about. We did also have the same issue with one of the insurance policies, but they did waive the fee and late charge on that for us. So, okay. Rest of them look normal. Anybody got any questions about any of the other bills and invoices? I guess the only question I would have, and I've actually had it over the last 2 months, we pay our contract based upon a percentage of work from the CEO and president and the other employees here. The main one obviously being the CEO and president. And I'm looking at you, Kathy Jo, because you understand this number probably better than anybody. Obviously, we haven't been paying a CEO and president for a couple of months now. Why are we still paying the elevated dollar amount if we're not?
Because I haven't gone in to change it, because no one has told me to take it off.
Okay.
So I just continue to keep billing what was budgeted, but I can adjust it for November and December.
Okay, great, thank you.
Okay.
Perfect. Okay. Any other questions on that? I'll entertain a motion to approve bills and invoices.
So moved.
Second.
Okay, thank you. Any other discussion? Hearing none, we'll vote.
Blanchard, aye.
Ryan, I.
Zeno, I.
Bert and I. Moving on to pilots. Update County 14 Smyrna Solar Farm.
That we just did.
That we just did. Yes, we moved that up, sorry. Update on Norbit Solar Farm.
I contacted Matt Wells at Von Trinity King, and he has not heard from them at all. He is trying to get an update. They have since switched council, so he's trying to figure out who he can contact, and as soon as he gets something, I will get back with you guys on that. Make sure you're updated.
Any questions on that? No. Leaseback payment Tiffany Solar. So this is a little bit of an oddity that was in the contract, right?
Yes, Ashley Brown, who is with Tiffany Solar, had asked me about a $30 lease back well, actually it's $10 a year and it hasn't been paid for 3 years. They haven't paid it. We haven't billed. I asked Kathy Jo about it and she said, no, we've never billed. It's in there. And so I asked, Matt Wells at Bonshun King, and he says it's up to us. If we want to collect the $10 a year lease back fee, we can bill it in, with the annual fee that they already pay, the $1,500. It's totally up to us, but we've never collected it before. It is in the lease back agreement though. So she's asking us if we want them to pay it or if we're just gonna continue to just not ask for it.
I think if it's in the contract, we have to
We
collect
have to
it,
do it, yeah.
especially after our previous audit, making sure that everything's done properly, that billing goes out properly, that we're getting paid for everything that's being billed for. I think, my personal opinion, I know it's only $30 that they're behind, and it's only $10 a year, but, you know, if we have a contract for a pilot, we have to stick to that contract in case we're ever audited again or anybody ever wants to see it.
And Brian, I will also add that for the integrity of, you know, the implementation of the contract, I would rather see 3 invoices for those 3 terms.
Yeah,
That
that's,
added to the annual.
yeah. Yeah, I think you're right. It needs to be separate.
Even though it seems like such a small amount, but this is just implementation of the contract in the right manner.
Yeah, it's a separate section in the actual contract that's about that big on the top of a page below a much bigger section. So, yeah, I think you're right as well, so. Okay, I don't need a motion because it's in the contract, so we just need to bill it
Yeah, so
out.
we'll just have Kathy Jo bill those 3 previous years, and then next year, we'll just add it to the annual. She can do a line on the annual payment, right, because you bill them out. And we'll just add a line for that lease back.
When is the renewal?
It's the beginning of every year.
Is
Yeah,
calendar?
that's when I send the
That would be
invoices out.
perfect timing then to correct this.
Yes,
Yeah.
yeah, so we'll going forward, January
like that.
2023, we'll have that on there.
Perfect, good, thank you. Old business, IDA property updates. Earl B. Clark, do you want me to talk? Yeah. So Earl B. Clark sale, I actually had to go back and watch the meeting where Zay presented to remember what the details were of that. So I went back and watched the meeting. He's agreed to a $60,000, basically one-time payment for the original purchase of a portion of the land. And then the rest of it will be, I believe it's another $40,000 or something like that, maybe a little more, over a payment plan at a cost of $3,000 an acre for that extra land. If my calculations are correct, and they could be slightly off, depending on how long he wants to take to pay that back, pay that other portion off, it'll amount to somewhere between $100,000 and $125,000 for that property that we'll receive. In the end, it did appraise at about 135 at $3,000 an acre for every acre that's out there. The assessed value on that property though was somewhere around $400,000.
497.
For what?
497.
497, so almost $500,000 on the assessed value. They have a huge dollar amount for improvements on that property in the assessment. I'm not sure where that's coming from because there's nothing out there but like a little pump house type thing. So anyways, I just want you to have all the facts. But after reviewing that and whatnot, we've asked the attorneys to draw up a purchase contract for that at this point with Zaid. So hopefully we'll have that by next meeting. Any questions, comments, concerns on that? No, and besides the money that we'd be getting for the purchase, we're also eliminating some maintenance costs that we have there and a tax cost actually. So.
And yet we're still holding on the, proposal that he will be responsible for any changes if he would, like if he were to withdraw.
Oh, that got.
Oh, yes, yes,
Yeah, I
yes. He
did
agreed to that.
Yeah, he signed
In the
it.
beginning, he signed off on that.
I remember.
Yeah, so he would, at this point, he would end up paying some attorney fees and an appraisal fee if he backed out at this
Okay.
point. Yep.
It's
Good.
good, it's good to see him moving forward with this.
Yeah, I think he needs it. So that's good. 5 to 7 Scott Street, Bainbridge.
I talked with, the Lori at Coughlin and Gearhart. We're gonna use Coughlin and Gearhart for the sale. And, so Afton Tent Sale is the one who wants to purchase it. And they've been told, because they went to Coughlin and Gearhart too, but they were told by Coughlin and Gearhart that they need to find another lawyer. As of the 13th, Coughlin and Gearhart has not heard back from them as to whether they found another lawyer or not. So we're just kind of waiting on that. I talked with Brian and he said that, he wanted me to tell Coughlin and Gearhart to go ahead and start the process, get the contract going, and then once, Afton Tent Rental gets their lawyer in contact with Coughlin and Gearhart, we'll be able to, get it sewed up.
Yeah, I don't want to stop the ball rolling out.
Right, yeah, and so we're gonna,
In worst case scenario, if they truly want to get Coughlin and Gearhart, we could sign a conflict of interest clause.
Right.
We almost did that with another lease, but
yeah.
we found somebody to help us instead.
I think Coughlin and Gearhart would rather they go
Yeah.
from just the feeling that I
Yeah,
got
they
from
probably
them.
feel better about it.
Yeah.
Yep.
And it's such a straightforward agreement. I mean, they can get any attorney to do this.
Yeah.
It's not-
Yep. Anything else on that? Any more questions? No. Airport incubator building sale. I signed the sale documents yesterday. Barb's delivering those to Flanagan's office, and then that should be finalized this week or next.
Yeah, now it's up to Flanagan to have, because I did take it over to them yesterday afternoon, and so now they're gonna be in contact with their client to have them come in and sign, and we'll get a copy of the total executed documents. Once they're done, and then we'll done that one.
Good. Any questions on that? Also, we're gonna save money and expenses there, as well as, we're just not gonna have that overhead anymore. We don't have to worry about having somebody in that building and sitting vacant, so good thing. All right, IDA budget. Everybody should have a copy of the proposed budget at this point. Barb, myself, and Randy got together, looked over the budget after Kathy Joe had given us a preliminary budget, and between Barb's head, my head, and Randy's head, we added and removed some things, changed some things on here. But I just want to highlight a few things that we did do. So when we originally received this budget, it was at actually a negative budget of about 19,000, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, 19,000. So our first task was, how the heck are we gonna find another $19,000? After talking for a while, we realized that we are actually going to have a cash injection in 2023 of $60,000 from the sale of Clark Park. So the budget went from a negative 19 to a positive 22,000 proposed for 2023. Gives us a little room. One of the things we also did is we budgeted more in the 2023 budget for contract with Commerce than we spent in 2022. Part of that being is we don't know the exact number yet, but based upon this number, this is a number that comes down to about $12,000 a month for contracted services. So it's probably right close. It's in the realm. So that's why you see that in red. We wanted to point that out. We also asked that Kathy Joe add income and expense lines for the property in Bainbridge that we're holding the paper on for everything Bakerly. Because again, like the airport building, we will pay the expenses, they will reimburse us. We also put in there a line item for maintenance because or for repairs, because we're responsible for repairs over $250. But we are not responsible for maintenance in this contract. So it'll be up to them to do the plowing and the landscape and that stuff. That's on them. Those were the major changes, right?
Yes.
Yeah. And we added the line item. So for that repairs line item, we added $12,000. Right? No,
No,
No, that-
2,000.
2,000.
Yes.
And then for expenses, we added $12,000, but those should wash. So we added 12,000 in income, 12,000 in expenses, so they'll wash. Did everybody get a chance to look this over and have any questions, comments, concerns, adjustments that you think should be made?
I did, and I have two observations. You brought one up already about the insurance, because the increase seems really large. So that has been addressed, and I'm so glad you're working on it. The second part is, it will really help for the sake of planning if we could add a column that shows either an increase or like a percentage of increase or decrease over the year before.
Okay.
So at a glance, we could, because that would have popped right away in, just a little column that shows the percentage of increase or decrease over 2022. Is that?
Yes,
Yeah.
yes, I can.
Just a suggestion.
Yeah.
Because at a glance, you can look at it and say, oh, this is going down with this.
You can see where the big numbers are.
Yes,
Yeah,
yes.
the big movement, stuff for 2, 3, 5%, you don't get much about, but if something's going up or down 20%.
Yes, you can see in that one.
Explanation, right?
And that one really did the trick.
Yeah. Okay, so since it's October and, what's that thing called? Paris. We have to submit a budget to Paris. What I'd like to do today is get a motion to approve this budget for submission and approval. And then Kathy, Joe, if you could just work us up another one for the next meeting with those percentages on it as well, just so we can see it. And then do that each year.
Okay.
Yeah, that'd be
So
great.
on the budget sheet or on the income statement?
I'd like to see it on the budget sheet.
Budget sheet, okay.
Yeah,
And also, if we can add that note that the chair is working with the insurance agency
Yes.
to review those and update those amounts.
I think a big part of the cost of our insurance was that vacant building. That vacant building insurance is wicked expensive. They actually had trouble finding somebody to underwrite it. So we had to pay a premium on that. And then, of course, we do pay the insurance on the new building we bought, so that's a whole new property. But again, we got properties coming off, so it should decrease. All right, so motion to approve the budget if there's no more questions on it. Jeff, did you have a question? Okay, good.
On the actuals, we're, compared to the budgets, they're quite a ways off. Are we thinking that the 2023 budget is more in line with what might actually happen?
Yes.
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 I mean, that's a.
Yeah.
I assume we do every year, but our track record hasn't been too good here by the looks.
Yeah. What's driving? Did you ever see what's driving that?
Maybe we're anticipating income probably from some of these projects that are taking longer than we expected, maybe is part of it. At least from what I've heard through other meetings.
Right, High Bridge Wind was a little less in revenue.
Yeah, about 50,000.
Yeah. And then there were a few items in the expenses that were not budgeted for this year.
$32,000 right off the get-go to project fees, right?
Yes.
Kathy Jo, I assume you can cut this by individual and by department, where the money's going, like how deep, how far down can we cut it? I'm gonna wanna walk through that with you.
Oh, yes,
Like,
yes, I can get
Yeah,
detailed as you want,
that'd be
yes,
great.
yeah.
I'd love to be able to do that.
And then there was the purchase of the 5 Walnut Ave that is in the
Yeah.
expense side, but that will be moved at the end of the year as into an asset.
Mhm.
So the end of the year, that won't be there.
And some of that was offset by the fact that we got somebody to lease the airport building too,
Yes.
$7,000 a month. So, yeah. So to answer your question, yes, because those things are there now. Good. Any other questions, comments, concerns? Great. Need a motion to approve the budget for 2023?
So,
Need a second?
second.
Second. Any more discussion? Hearing none, we'll vote.
Blanchard, aye.
Ryan, aye?
Reno, aye.
Bert, aye. UTEP policy.
Did you guys get a chance to look it over and make any changes? Make sure that you like what was in red?
So that was that policy that Barb sent us that had our original policy and then what she learned from the other IDAs. And if you notice, the document grew immensely.
Yeah, because we could, what the comptroller's office wanted to see in our UTEP policy, we never had it in there before, so.
So basically, she put in things that are required policy that
I
we
see.
didn't have.
That came out of that audit that, they did.
Yeah.
So,
Are you looking for a motion from us today to accept your changes?
well, I just want to make sure because I took exactly what was from Steuben County, I think is the one that I used. And, and if you see in here, there are some numbers and percentages and all of that stuff. I didn't change that. So I just want to make sure that you guys are looking at this really closely to make sure you with real property tax abatement schedule. If you Schedule A, targeted industries and manufacturing, year 1 to 5, it's 75%. Is that how we do things here? Or that's what I'm looking for, is everything in the red to be looked at?
That's one of the things that came out of the audit too, was we needed to standardize that, right? It was
Right.
kind of a little willy-nilly in certain circumstances and situations. And my feeling on this is Steuben County is really good at this.
Right.
They have 70 projects going, or whatever that number is right now.
Yeah,
That I think if we're gonna,
right.
In light of 3 people being missing, can we push this back?
Yeah.
Yeah,
yeah.
definitely. I mean, they probably won't, I can't imagine the comptroller's office is gonna go on our website, and look at it. When I do the Paris report at the end of March, that's when they start looking at all this stuff, because I have to show on the Paris report, I have to actually give them the website to go on to find it. So that's when they're gonna, so I'd rather you guys take your time, look at it, even if I don't know if you want to get the lawyers involved or whatnot, but I just don't want you guys to take my word for it, and because I don't know.
So here's a creative idea.
Mhm.
Could we get invite someone from Steuben County to go over some of those pieces with us and give us kind of an orientation on how
They've
they
been-
apply that?
They've been very good. We can probably reach out to Jamie, who is the director of the IDA. I mean, actually, it would be really good if he came. He's very knowledgeable. He knows what he's doing. He's been doing it for a long time, and, I'm sure he wouldn't have any problem coming here. I think Sal should definitely talk with him and get the lay of the land and whatnot, but
Or even
yes.
on a Zoom meeting, it will be reassuring to ask.
Right, and I think that's,
Yeah.
because I don't know how.
Yeah, so could you make that connection and see if he'd be willing to come to our November meeting?
I can do that. And
Great.
see if he's
And
there.
have a copy of that for everybody with the changes and everything here again. Yeah,
Yes,
just a
yeah.
hard copy and, now we can go through it as a group after we talk to him and hear what he has to say.
Yeah, because we don't want to rush into this or anything.
Yeah, anybody got problem offering to pay the guys travel expenses to come here?
Oh, no, not at all.
I'd like it to be in person if we can.
Absolutely.
All right,
In
so,
fact, you should take them for coffee across the street. Huh?
right.
Yeah. We
But,
can,
yeah, we'll cover his travel expenses if necessary.
okay, I can ask him if he's available that day. If not, maybe we can do a special meeting or something if he's not available.
Yep.
But, yeah, definitely, if he, and tell him that he can, maybe spend as much time as needed to make sure that we get this right.
And thank you for being open to that suggestion.
Oh, yeah, I think it's great. Good. All right, so we're gonna table anything on the UTEP policy until after that. Okay? Anybody got any new business? Okay, hearing none, I do have an executive session item for this board, that, is in regards to potential contract negotiations. So I need a motion to go into.
Second?
Okay, any discussion? No, we'll vote.
Blanchard, aye.
Ryan,
Bird eye. Okay? All right, we do not expect, there will be no business taken.
Nice to see you. We'll be back hopefully. Barb, do you want me to take stuff for Shane Butler?
If you'd like to, I just